Okay, hello, welcome to the second video on your maths homeworks. This one is all on ratio. First things first, the answers to your homework are now displayed. Pause the video and correct your answers. Any that you don't get wrong, you can either watch the whole video or just fast forward to the questions you need help with. Okay, let's start with the first question. Now, the first one's been done for us, so we're looking to set it out like this one. So we're looking for common factors of 12 and 45. Now, I can see that 2 isn't going to go into them, but 3 will, because the digits add up here to 3, and the digits here add up to 9. So my common factors there are 3. So if I divide both sides by 3, 12 divided by 3 will be 4, and 45 divided by 3 is 15. I'll just do a quick check to see if there's any more common factors. So 4 only has 1 in itself and then 2, and then this hasn't got a factor of 2 or either of those, so that's job done for that one. Okay, question 3. I'm looking for common factors of 16 and 42. Now I know 8 goes into both of these, so I'll divide both sides by 8. If you chose to do 2 first, then that's absolutely fine. You'll just have to do another step afterwards. Just focus a little bit more, so just so you can see. It's a little bit better. Okay, so 16 divided by 8. No, 8 doesn't go into it, beg your pardon. It's going to be 2. My mistake. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. And 42 divided by 2, 21. Okay, and then 21 only has factors of 3, 7, 1 and 21, and 8 doesn't share those factors, so job done for that one. Okay, now for this fraction here, to cancel out this 5, I'm going to want to multiply this by 5, but I'll also need to multiply this one by 5. Okay. And then this one will need to multiply by 7. And this will also need to be multiplied by 7. So what's going to happen is, if I multiply by the combination of that, which is the same as multiplying by 35, because 7 times 5 is 35. Now 35 is broken down into the multiple 7 and 5. So what's going to happen is, the 5 within this 35, because this is the same as 7 times 5, the 5 here is going to cancel out that 5, so all I'll be left with is multiplying the top by 7. So 7 times 2 is 14. And in here, this 7 is going to cancel this 7, so all I'm going to be left with is to multiply by 5. So 5 times 5, 25. Okay, don't have to, it doesn't make too much sense. You can just multiply 2 over 5 by 35 and 5 over 7 by 35, and then that will cancel to those numbers. Okay, so this one here, I'll multiply both sides by 100 to cancel out this 0.47. So 0.47 times by 100 is 47. And then I multiply by 100, so 1 times 100 over 2. I'm doing this in 2 steps for this one. Okay. And then don't have to worry about the multiplying by 1, so it's 100 over 2. And then 2 into 100 is 50, so 47 to 50. Now this one looks much more challenging, doesn't it? And I have to think about that a second there for myself. And I can't immediately see what factors are going to go into it. So what we're going to have to do here is find our prime factors for 630 and 441. And that'll tell us what the highest common factor is. So let's do this here. So 630 could be broken down into 63 and 10. And then 2 and 5, and that can be broken down into 9 and 7, and then 3 and 3. And then for 441, this one's going to be a little bit more tougher. So adding up the digits, I have 4, 4 and 1. So I know that 9 is going to be a factor because 4 plus 4 plus 1 is 9, and 9 is divisible by 9. So I need to do 441 divided by 9, and that's 49. Okay, and I know 49 is a square number, so 7 and 7. And then 3 and 3. Okay, so now I'm just going to quickly do my Venn diagram. I know I don't have a huge amount of space here. Okay, so then for the common factor of 630 is going to be what? So we've got a 2 there, which doesn't have a common factor, and a 5, again, no common factor. And then we've got 2 pairs of 3s. And a pair of 7s. And 1 7 left over here. Okay, so here's our highest common factor. 3 times 3 times 7. Okay, so that's 63. So 63 is my common factor. So I'm going to divide both sides by 63. So that's going to give me 10. And 441 divided by 63, you can use your calculator for that one. That gives you 7. Okay, so it's a little bit messed up here, but hopefully you followed that fine. Okay, if not, then look back in your previous work on finding the highest common factor using product of prime factors. Okay, section B, we're trying to write the ratio of this diagram in its simplest form. So step 1, I'm just going to put in the things I have. So I've got the black dots, I've then got the circles, and I've got the squares. And I'm going to count them. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black dots. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 circles. And then I have 1, 2 squares. Okay, it might be tempting to say, well, hang on, I've got common factors of 4 and 2 here, but it's got to be common factors for all of them. So 5's prime and 2's prime, so that's not going to simplify it at all. Job done there. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to write the things that I've got. So I've got flour, eggs, milk and butter. So flour, eggs, milk, butter. I have 100 grams of flour to 2 eggs to 200 ml of milk and then 50 grams of butter. Okay, I can instantly see that these are all even numbers, so I can divide by 2 and I'll get 50 to 1, 100 to 25. Okay, now the pancakes in question 2, section B, make 12 pancakes. Write the ingredients for 15 pancakes. Okay, so these ingredients here make for 12 people. So, to go from 12 people, I wanting to multiply by to get to 15. So I can say that 12 multiplied by some number we don't know equals 15. So 15 divided by 12 will give us that number we multiply by, which is 5/4. Okay, so all of my ingredients need to be multiplied by this multiple, 5/4, or multiplier I should say, and that'll give my ingredients. So flour, eggs, milk and butter. So it was for 100 grams, so 100 grams multiplied by 5/4 gives you 125 grams. This was 2 eggs multiplied by 5/4, that gives you 2.5 eggs. The milk is 200 millilitres. So that will give you, multiplied by 5 over 4, that is 250 ml. And then butter, 62.5 grams. You guessed it, multiplied by 5 over 4, and that gives you 62.5 grams. Now you might be wondering, well hang on, why have I used my original numbers, 100 to 262.5? Why have I used the original numbers rather than my simplified numbers? Okay, well, the reason I've used my non-simplified ones is because this is the original amount for 12 people, which is what I used my original multiplier for. Now, by halving all of these ingredients in its simplest form, these ingredients are for 6 people. Now, you could have used this and used a different number here, so you could have had 6 multiplied by a number gives you 15, and you should have found that that's maybe 10 over 4. No, wrong. Yeah, 10 over 4. Okay, doesn't matter. But personally, I just use my original amount there. Okay. Next question. Now we have some ingredients here, and I want to know what's the largest number of pancakes I make. So, I'm going to write down my original ingredients for making 12 here. So 100 grams of flour was my original amount of flour for 12 pancakes. Then 2 eggs. Then 200 millilitres. And then 50 grams of butter. Okay, that's my minimum requirements for 12 people. So now I'm going to see what I need to multiply each of these numbers by to get these numbers. Okay, so 100 grams in 1 kilogram. You know that 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So basically I need to multiply this by 10 to get that to 1,000. Okay, for 2 to 6, I need to multiply that by 3, because 3 times 2 is 6. And to go from 200 millilitres to 6 litres. Now, I know that there are there's 1,000 millilitres in a litre. So if I multiply 200 by 5, that'll give me 1 litre. So I need to multiply that by 6, which is the same as multiplying by 35. Okay, multiplying by 5 then 6 is the same as multiplying by 35. And then here, to go from 50 to 250, I multiply by 5. Okay, so I need to choose the smallest number from here. Because if I multiply everything by 5, I won't have enough eggs. Or if I multiply everything by 10, to do the largest amount of flour that I have, I won't have enough eggs or butter. And if I multiply everything by 35, okay, I'll have enough milk, but I won't have enough butter, eggs, or flour. So I'm going to choose my smallest number here, which is multiply everything by 3. Okay, so these ingredients are made for 12 people. So if you multiply everything by 3, including the number of people, that will make for 12 times 3 people, or 36 people. Okay, and now final question. Now this time I'm told that I have 400 grams more flour than butter. Okay, but I don't know exactly how much, just the difference between them. So if I just go back to my ratio, I'm going to use one of my simplest form on this time. So I've got 50 to 1 to 100 to 25. Okay, and that's for 6 people. So I know the difference between my flour and my butter represents 400. Okay, so the difference between these, whatever they are, is 400. So if I find the difference between these two parts, there are 25 parts between these two. So there's 25 shares between these two, because 50 minus 25 is 25. Okay? And I know the difference between these two represents 400 grams. So 25 parts is 400 grams. So I now need to know what 1 part is. So if 25 parts is 400, if I divide both sides by 25, that'll tell me what 1 part is. So I'm going to just quickly do that. So 400 divided by 25. Okay, that gives me 16. So each part is worth 16 pieces. Okay, so now I can just multiply everything here by 16. Okay, because if 1 part's 16, I want to know what 50 parts are, what 100 parts are, what 25 parts are. So 50 times by 16 will give me 800. And then 1 times 16 is 16. 100 times 16, 1,600. And then 25 times 16 is 400. Okay. And then that's it. Job done. That's the quantities of each ingredient I need. Hope that helped. Any other problems, come and see me and we can resolve any problems. Again, especially for question C, you may not have seen this in lessons yet, so don't worry too much if you're having a bit of trouble with this one. We will look at this in much more detail in class. Okay, thanks for watching and have a good day.